y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and today we're going to talk about Arm of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. This is book 2 in the Books of Babel series, and if you haven't read book 1 yet, Sun and the Sands, you should just stop now and go read that, because there's going to be spoilers for book 1, and later on we'll have spoilers for Arm of the Sphinx. If you haven't seen our live show yet, I did a fantastic live show with a bunch of my friends talking about this book, and it was so much fun. You have to go check it out. I'll put the link down in the description below. So, Arm of the Sphinx, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I thought, even though it had a slow start for me, it felt different than Sun Ascends, and it took me a while to get into. I still thought it was an absolutely fantastic book. Great writing, great prose, great characters. In Arm of the Sphinx, we get a lot more character development than we did in Sun Ascends. We get different points of view from some of the different side characters, Edith and Irene and Valletta and Adam, and we get to see those characters in a little bit more depth than we did in Sun Ascends. And I really loved seeing these characters develop and come to their own outside of their, friendship, camaraderie with Senlin. So let's just get into spoilers, because this is going to be a short one, because I've already given my thoughts on this book in our live show. So some spoilers. One of my favorite moments in this book was when Irene learned she was going through menopause and learning what all that meant, and she was talking to Valletta about it and worried that no one would love her anymore, and Valletta said, "Don't worry, I'll still love you." And that was just an incredibly touching moment between those two characters. And they're two characters that we saw a lot of them, but we didn't see a lot of in-depth details about them, so it gave you kind of an insight into both of those characters, and I really loved that a lot. So let's just get straight to the ending, because there's so much to talk about here with this ending. So first and foremost, I am Team Senlin and Maria. Senlin's whole purpose in this series is to find his wife that he got separated from back at the beginning of book 1. If he ends up with Edith, that's going to erase the whole purpose of these books. I know a lot of people want to see him together with Edith because they're so great, but for me, Senlin and Edith have this fantastic friendship that I feel like if they took it to a romantic level, it would change, and I don't want to see that change, because it's such a great male-female friendship that we don't often get in fantasy books. Usually if there's a friendship, it develops into romance, and then it's not the same anymore. And I love seeing this friendship between them without there being any romantic feelings in there. I think the baby that we see at the end with Maria is Senlin's baby. I think there's something weird going around in her head with her, that she's not completely there. It's not the Maria that Senlin once knew. Whether that's something that happened in the tower or before that, something is off with Maria, and I can't wait to figure out what's going on with her in The Hod King, which I'm currently making my way through right now. My favorite character is Byron. He is just so sassy and sarcastic, and I just love him so much. So let's get into some of my favorite quotes, because like I said, I said a lot of my thoughts in our live show and on Library of Alexandria's Discord. I'll put that link down below. Also, come join us and talk about the Books of Babel series, because we're all huge Senlin super fans and completely fantastic. But Josiah Bancroft has such amazing prose that I just have to read off some of my favorite quotes to give it justice. So, it was such a luxury to be unafraid, and this is, if you've spent your entire life being afraid of something, just to have one moment of being unafraid, you will totally get. People who could sit in a chair, open a book, and just think themselves around the world were magicians. as far as she was concerned. And we're all readers here. We all know what books do to us, and so I think a lot of people could relate to that quote right there. The fog of war, it seemed, had become a soup, and that's kind of like the weird sense of humor that we get in this book, in this series. You get these people, characters that feel like ordinary people, thrown into this crazy, fantastical world, and that's one of the reasons why I love this series so much, because it feels normal, but it's in this crazy world with the Tower of Babel that is definitely fantastical and puts these characters in crazy situations. Nothing believes in itself so much as a book. Nothing is less bothered by history or propriety. And I love when authors take books and put personalities to them and personify books. It just makes me happy. And last but not least, when humanity ceases to aspire, it begins to decline. And that just reminds you to always aspire to be better. Be a better person. Senlin has gone through, I think, 6 levels in the tower, and the tower is that thing that always changes people. It changes who you are, what you do, your morals, your values. And even though Senlin feels himself changing in the tower, he tries to stick to his morals and aspire to be better. Even when he feels like all hope is lost, he just keeps on trying to be better. And that's just that reminder to always try to be a better person. So, like I said, I gave 5 out of 5 stars for Armor of the Sphinx by Josiah Bancroft. I'm in the middle of book 3, The Hod King, right now, and I can't wait to see where that goes. I will put the link to our live show in the description below, also Alan's Discord, because there's great conversation going on there. If you've read this series, let me know what you thought. Let me know who your favorite character is, because there's so many great characters in this series. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. As always, my Patreon and Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.